Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another video. It is another great night of hoops. Guys, I gotta be honest. Quick little disclaimer before we get into the video. I got to sit here and give Adam Silver his flowers. I've talked crap about the NBA and their product over the last year I've started my YouTube channel. And I have to say, right now I'm eating crow because this playoffs has been one of the best playoffs I have watched in a very long time. Mind y'all, I didn't even watch the NBA Finals last year. I didn't even watch a game. I was so disinterested. But this playoffs, my Lord, has it been good and has it been amazing? And we are going to talk about Game 2 of the Knicks and the Celtics. And a lot happened, and I'll get more into detail in a bit. But before we get into all that, make sure you guys hit the like on the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the links in the bio to all my other videos, sports related, and to check out the more important thing, the Alpha Podcast, my weekly show that I produce where we talk about the latest, hottest topics in pop culture and sports. Without further ado, don't want to forget this part, most important point. Hit that subscribe button on the video and tap that notification bell to get notified when all of my videos go live. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Great game. Start at 7 o'clock Eastern. It's a Wednesday night. Y'all guys know I had to go to church. I have to give the Lord his time because I rarely do it during the week. So I take that time on Wednesday night to give it back to him as much as he gives back to me. So I wasn't able to really keep up with the game for the first majority of the first half. The tail of this game was more towards the end of the second half. The first half was more like, and this is something that we got to think about as well while I'm looking up the stats for this game. Just going to need them just for, kind of just to see where everything went. I know specifically for the Knicks what all happened, but essentially, this game was copy and paste of game 1. Knicks kept it close pretty much in the beginning of the game, relatively close in these playoffs. The way these playoffs has been, relatively close is 15 or less. And that is the magic number. So in the first half, Knicks keeping it close. Karl Anthony Towns, in my opinion, had a much cleaner game. Jalen Brunson pretty much struggled in the first half. There wasn't a whole lot going on for the Knicks. The Boston Celtics, they were able to pretty much shoot that 3 ball and live and die by the 3. That's the first half. I didn't watch much of the first half, so we're not even going to get into it. The second half is where the money lies. Mind you guys, ladies and gentlemen, game 1, the Knicks were down 20 at one point. Guys, can I remind you that this game they were down 20 as well? With 3 minutes left in the third quarter, the Knicks were down 53-73. The New York Knicks came back and won this ball game. They were the first team in the history of the NBA, regular season or postseason, to ever come back 20-plus points in 2 straight games. Absolute magic stuff, led by Jalen Brunson and the whole Knicks team, because I got to give the whole Knicks team credit in this aspect. Jalen Brunson relatively struggled tonight. Players like Mikal Bridges stepped up big in the fourth quarter, scoring 14 just in the fourth quarter. Josh Hart, he was their highest scorer in the game, dropping 23 points. Jalen Brunson, I said he struggled. He scored 17. Karl Anthony Towns, he was pretty efficient tonight. He scored 21 points. OG Anunoby wasn't his best night. He only scored 5. Trey McBride coming off the bench, he only gave you 5. Mitchell Robinson gave you 6, but he was very efficient. Mitchell Robinson had a plus minus of plus 19. He was 3 for 5 from the field. He gave 5 defensive rebounds and 3 offensive rebounds and 3 steals. Great stuff. But we got to be totally honest. The reason why, and I forgot to put my decal, my overlay on the start of the video. The reason why the Knicks were even able to come back again to begin with is because the Boston Celtics act like there's no other way to score the basketball unless it's a three-point shot. Holy cow, Joe Mazzulla, do you not know how to just sit the boys down and just look at them and say, guys, you know what? It's the fourth quarter. This feels like the game we just played all over again. You know what? Let's just switch the philosophy a little bit. Let's drive the paint. It's not like we got a guy who's 6'9", future Hall of Famer, got an elite bag, can get to the rim whenever he wants to, can do anything with the basketball. Jason Tatum, you know, that guy, you know, he's on the team, but we'll just let him shoot threes. Another guy who potentially could be a Hall of Famer as well. He's already won the Finals MVP. Jaylen Brown, he's 6'7", 6'6". He can drive whenever he wants to as well. He's been in the dunk contest. Obviously, he's able to slash. But no, we're just going to shoot some threes. Why not? This has been the knock on the NBA for a very long time. The three-point shot has ruined the league. There's nothing worse than watching a basketball team shoot threes all game. The Celtics are they live by that. Shoot the three ball. I was trying to find an adjective to make it sound smart and bolster that claim, but it wasn't popping in my brain at the time. Analytics can be a hoe sometimes. You know why? Because it can be misguided and misleading. Statistically, is it more efficient to shoot a three ball than a 2-point shot, maybe a mid-range? Absolutely. I'm one of those. The one that the shot that makes me mad the most is a shot that you pull up for like a mid-range, probably a foot away from the 3-point, in front of the 3-point line. It irks my nerves. Why would you take that far of a 2-point shot when you can just step back a half a step and shoot a 3-point ball? It's always irked my nerves, but hey, I digress. But what that data don't provide though, what about those easy 2 points by layups? Shots around the rim, up close to the rim. Not necessarily those hard mid-range shots where you're only a half a step in front of the 3-point line. What about right between the free throw area? Those are your high percentage shots. That's what the data doesn't tell you. So when you're Joe Mazzulla and you got your data analyst experts working for you, it's like, hey, coach, you know what? Statistically, it is better to shoot the three ball than any other type of 2-point shot. And guess what? You instill that into your players' brains. And my God, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown act like they don't know how to drive and score the basketball. This, again, I was sitting there on my couch, well, with the church, first half of the game, second half of the game. I'm back at the house. I'm actually watching the game. I relatively thought the game was over until I was sitting there chilling with my mother, consuming the game on my phone. Didn't even watch it on the television. That's how I thought this game was over with. Then I watched the Knicks come back. Josh Hart hits a big three in the corner, get him down 15. I was like, okay. And then game one replicated itself again. Because the Boston Celtics don't know when and when not to shoot the 3-point ball. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, if I'm not mistaken, I'm about to make sure, but the Boston Celtics missed 33 pointers tonight. Yes, 10 for 40, 25%. The Knicks weren't no better. They were 29%. But overall, the Knicks shot 43% from the field. The Knicks shot 43% from the field. I can't remember if I said that right. And the Celtics shot 36%. The Celtics shot more free throws. They had more rebounds. They beat them in every department except for turnovers. They had one more turnover than the Knicks did. Had the same amount of points in the paint. Same fouls. Largest lead was 20. The only thing the Celtics didn't do better was shoot the 3-ball and field goal percentage. Jason Tatum, I need an APB out for him. I don't know what he's doing. He can't hit shots. He specifically can't hit a 3-point shot. Let's look what he was tonight. 1 for 5 from 3. His plus minus was +3. I don't know how because he had 13 defensive rebounds and he had 14 rebounds altogether. That's the only reason why. He shot 5 for 19 from the field. That's horrendous. That's like right at 20%, 22% from the field. You played 42 minutes and gave horrible night shooting. Jaylen Brown as well, horrible night shooting, right at above 30%. He was 8 for 23. Derek White, he's hit or miss from the 3-point ball as well. He was 6 for 13. Al Horford, 2 for 11. Porzingis, whatever. This is the story of the game. I said it in my last video. A team like the Knicks, they're gritty. Well, sorry, let's not say that. Their culture, their basketball team is built on grit, grind, never give up. Tom Thibodeau stands by that. It was established last season in the playoffs, and going into this season, early on, it didn't seem like that same type of thing was established, but in this playoffs, it's been established. Because this team doesn't quit. They don't quit on each other. They don't quit on the coach, and they don't quit on the game. Led by clutch player Jalen Brunson. They're playing complementary basketball. I said in the last video, Karl Anthony Towns, he's not going to give you what? I think they gave him 12 that game. Karl Anthony Towns is going to give you 20 plus, more than likely. You just needed your role players like the Josh Harts, like the Mikal Bridges. They could up their offensive production just a tiny smidget, just in case Brunson's not having a good night. You can beat the Celtics. What happened tonight? Josh Hart, he dropped 23. Darn it, I said the last video, you'll be good for if Hart scored 12, went 10 points above that, specifically 11. OG Anunoby had a bad night. Guess what? Josh Hart filled in that void. Mikal Bridges filled in that void. Trey McBride came in and gave you some good minutes. Scored the basketball when he needed to. Great player. I love him, by the way. For some reason, when I watch him play basketball, he is like the most efficient backup point guard you could have. Could you guys imagine if Isaiah Quickly was still on this team? Y'all remember the Isaiah Quickly 2 years ago that was going insane for the Knicks in the playoffs? Imagine him on this team right now. Oh my goodness, it would be so nice. Mitchell Robinson, even though he is a liability at the end of the game, because coaches like Steve Kerr in the last series and Joe Mazzulla with this series, I believe Joe Mazzulla took a page out of Steve Kerr's book. These teams are loving the idea of fouling the center on purpose above the 2 minutes because they said in the rule book you can't do it under 2 minutes. But over 2 minutes, if you don't want them to score on offense, guess what? Let's purposely foul them and make them go to the free throw line and miss the free throws. Because Mitchell Robinson, he is a horrific free throw shooter, and it was exhibited well tonight. But again, from the Celtics point of view, get back to them. Y'all got to wake up. It's 2-0. Y'all's going to the Garden. And I said it in my last video. I know I'm saying that a lot, but hey, these are the same games, essentially. But even though this comment I'm about to say doesn't pertain to that statement that I just made. You're going to the Garden. The mecca of basketball. A team and a franchise who has been inept, devoid of talent, devoid of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think this team has been to the Eastern Conference Finals since 1995. You gave this franchise hope. You gave this team hope. They are up on you 2-0 went in there and won 2 games in an environment in TD Garden that is hard to win at against a team that many in the media and in the NBA circle has considered the favorites to win it again. A lot of people had the Celtics going back to back and winning another championship. You gave that team hope. You're fixing to roll up in Madison Square Garden with that fan base. Holy cow, the Garden is going to be lit whenever they play again. I want to say they play again Saturday. My lord, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, what I would do, no inappropriate comments for the statement either in the comments. What I would do to be able to see that game in person, to see that crowd in person, to see the stadium, be able to sit and just breathe it in, reel in all the emotions of that night, because it's going to be amazing. The walk into the theater, the streets of New York, everywhere. I think the stadium's on like 30 something street. I can't remember. I was just in New York over Christmas break. Everybody walking to the stadium, chanting the New York Knicks, getting ready for the game. It is going to be something to behold, because just the storyline. The Boston Celtics, I said it in my last video, the Boston Celtics, the history of the Celtics. They just won the championship. And then you have the Knicks, the mecca of sports, the mecca of basketball. You're up 2-0. A chance to go up 3-0 or 3-1 in these next 2 games. Go to your first Eastern Conference final in almost 30 years. And guess what? This is the best thing about it. You're going to have a much better matchup, in my opinion. Who knows what that Pacers and Cleveland series is going to look like? But I would like the Knicks' chances, and they could possibly get a trip to the NBA Finals. This is something that Knicks fans have been dreaming for, clamoring for. They had to deal with Michael Jordan back in 1995. They have another juggernaut in their way in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but they're not what Michael Jordan was. Goliath is the Boston Celtics. They're looking in the face of Goliath. Goliath is composed of the Celtics and everybody in the media space. And the Knicks are David. And they're using those little stones. And they're about to dominate and beat and bring down those Boston Celtics, the team that everybody loves right now, the favorites to win it all. But I believe in the New York Knicks. I want them to win so bad. And y'all got to mind me, I am a Jason Tatum fan. He went to Duke. I pull for Tatum. I love him to death. I said when Steph Curry retired, there's possibly a chance that he is going to become my favorite player. I think that has diminished because I fell in love with Cooper Flag so much, and I feel like just watching him in the league, I'm going to love him. But that's outside of the point. The Knicks have... I love storylines. The Knicks get to do something historic. I'm new. I won't say I'm new to watching sports, but I'm new to keeping up with the media, keeping up with sports, and being able to keep up and consume historic stuff. Haven't really had it in the NFL so far. Nothing wild, nothing crazy, but this could be my first time with basketball. The New York Knicks, it could be amazing. So I am pulling for them all the way. I'm pulling for the fan base, the city of New York, the Stephen A. Smiths, Spike Lee, Fat Joe, everybody who is diehard Knicks fans. I'm with you guys. I want you guys to win. I've always felt like the Knicks the last couple years, they can do it. Y'all know me. I have faith. I believe in the playoffs, there's always a shot. With this team, with Jalen Brunson's clutch factor, with the help of Karl Anthony Towns on the boards, because he dominated the boards tonight again and got and ones. The way that OG Anunoby can probably have a good night. Mikal Bridges, if he brings an offensive firepower like he did in the fourth quarter tonight and establish it in the rest of this series. Josh Hart don't have to do what he does again. Mitchell Robinson, Trey McBride, come off, give you some good minutes. You're set. You are set. And to add a little nugget that I wrote down, the Knicks went on a 38-17 run in the fourth quarter. They scored almost 40 points in the fourth quarter. This is a team who was able to get it done this year. They deserve it. They deserve their respect. They have earned their respect. And I am with them all the way. They can do it. Now, let's not get it twisted. The Celtics are more than capable of coming back and winning this series. The formula for them, when it becomes in the fourth quarter, when you got that comfortable lead up 20 plus, 15 plus, and even 10 plus, how about let's shoot a 2-point shot? Take a high percentage shot. Keep the pressure on. Don't keep bricking and building a house and allowing a team like the Knicks to come back, because you're giving a team like the Knicks, who if you give them a little bit of hope, they are going to expose you. And that's what they did tonight. They put history on y'all in TD Garden. I imagine that fan base was not happy leaving that game tonight and passing those turnstiles. That's the formula for success for the Celtics. I still believe at heart they have the better team. If they can establish some type of smart offensive 2-point paint basketball game plan, they would have won this game. They would have won last game. There's no excuse you're up 20 both games and you lose just because you love shooting a 3-ball so much over getting an easier look. Go back and watch the highlights at the end of that second half in the fourth quarter. What do you see? I saw it when Shaq and them and Kenny the Jet Smith, all of them were Charles Barkley. All of them were re-showing the highlights of that game. What were you seeing? The Knicks were getting in. They were getting the fouls down on the paint. They were shooting the high percentage paint shot. They shot a 3 here or there, but it was a mixture and it was complimentary basketball. What was the Celtics doing? 3-point ball, Derek Wright, brick. 3-point, Jason Tatum, brick. Peyton Pritchard was probably the only one who shot the ball, 3-point ball, pretty efficiently tonight. How much did Pritchard have? Pritchard was 3 for 9. Okay, 33%. Jaylen Brown, 3-point ball, brick. It was like I was Drew Holiday might have took one. It literally, I was getting so frustrated watching the Celtics play this game at the end of the fourth quarter. I don't know how any Celtics fan was able to fathom it. I know I couldn't have. I would have been ready to punch my screen and fuss out Joe Mazzulla from my home. Even though he wouldn't have heard me, but he was going to hear me in spirit. Because holy cow, there's no way you allow that to happen again. Even me, I know I have no type of credibility enough, coaching background enough, basketball background enough like Joe Mazzulla or any of these coaches have in the NBA. But even I would be smart enough to know and look at my guys, be like, you know what, guys? My God, does this feel like the same game from last night? How about we just change things up and let's just get some easier looks in the basket. You just done. Jason Tatum literally just done it right there in the game when it was, I believe the score was, they were down 1. I want to say it was 88-87 at that point. Jason Tatum blows by everybody and gets an easy dunk. You could have been doing that to begin with in the fourth quarter, but no. Jason Tatum's too busy worrying about shooting a contested fadeaway jumper on the elbow, shooting wide open shooting 3 balls and breaking them, even though most of the time he has been wide open, forcing a 3-point shot instead of getting his big behind on the block, fading away like Brunson, and getting you an easy mid-range shot. Mid-range fadeaway. It's your game. Driving to the hole, getting a foul, shooting free throws, getting and ones. You have it, Jason Tatum. Come on, lock in. You're talented. And I've seen memes go by. I saw one specifically, and it was so harsh. People were talking about This is why Jason Tatum was benched by Steve Kerr and weren't allowed to play in the Olympics. Got a good point. Got a fairly good point. But all in all, the NBA has been great so far. Every single series. I believe the only series that I really haven't been interested in at all is probably just the Nuggets and the Thunder. We're going to talk about it. Probably, maybe not. Timberwolves and Warriors. Loving it so far. Love the Rockets as well. Definitely loving the Knicks and the Celtics. The only one I can really say I don't care about as much is probably the Warriors. Excuse me. The Nuggets and the Thunder. And even though I haven't seen the Cavs and the Pacers because the last couple of nights I haven't been able to watch it because I have prior obligations. I actually will not be able to watch it tonight either because I got to work tomorrow night. I don't think they play tomorrow night. Let me make sure. I don't think they play tomorrow night. But I'm looking forward to it. Halliburton is doing some crazy stuff over there in Indiana. A guy who was rated in the NBA by his peers as the most overrated player in the NBA. But he is making guys eat some crow right now because he is putting on some Jordan-esque type performances. And I got to give a round of applause to Adam Silver. He's done a great job. Even though this has it has somewhat to do with him, which we will talk about it on the Apple podcast, and I'll get in detail with it. This is the type of officiating we need. It really is. You're letting them play. Let them dictate the game. Make it be more physical. It's just amazing just seeing. You could tell how, and I'm going to keep it short. This is all I'm going to say. You could tell how the game and the way they're refereed is different from the regular season to the postseason. They're so used to the regular season, them calling everything. Every time they drive, they're looking at the referees like this. I love it. I'm here for it. It makes the games more exciting. It's causing these games to be tight, and it's forcing players to play smarter. I love it. It is showcasing their skill even more. Adam Silver, if you implement into the regular season and decrease some of the games a little bit, give a lot of more primetime games on Saturday and Sunday and Friday night, holy cow, you got a fan. I ain't going to lie. I'm going to lie to y'all. I've been enjoying some hoops. These playoffs has been lit. I posted it on Twitter. That is all I got to say about this game. Who do you guys have winning the series? Do you think the Knicks can possibly just trade off with the Celtics and go up 3-1 in the series? Let me know down below in the comments. If you guys enjoyed my comments as well, let me know that by hitting the like button on the video. Do you think that the Celtics are done? Do you think they're cooked? Should they change their game plan? Let me know that down below in the comments as well. Be sure to check the description below to check out all of my other videos when it relates to sports, or if you love pop culture, do not hesitate to look at those videos as well. I have reactions, comic book commentary, and more importantly, check out the Alpha Podcast where we talk about the hottest topics in pop culture and sports, located on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as well. I thank you guys so much for joining me for yet another video. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you on the next one. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya.